Welcome to the
where our goal is to inform and educate our listeners on matters related to finance, legal, insurance, accounting, and other interests that are of personal and business nature.
We hope you will find our... The Expert Network team consists of Karl Frank of A&I Financial, Mike Miller of Miller and Associates CPAs, Jeff Cromendike of Security First Insurance Agency, and I'm Nathan Merrill.
Together, our independent team combines our expertise to provide you insights and solutions, some straightforward, some profound, for real-life opportunities. We hope you enjoy the information contained in today's podcast and find it useful. If you'd like to learn more or desire to meet with any of the Expert Network team members in person, you can contact us at info@expertnetworkteam.com. That's info@expertnetwork.
And we encourage you to take advantage of a free consultation with any of our team members. Just mention this podcast when you schedule your appointment.
Now on to... All right, so welcome back to the Expert Network podcast. I am Nathan Merrill of Goodspeed & Merrill. I'm an attorney, primarily focusing on tax efficiency planning, which means a lot of different things. But I've also got with me Karl Frank of A&I Financial. Karl, welcome.
Hi, Nate. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank
and
you
again,
for your
it's
expertise.
just lonely you and me here. Really drilling down on some, I think, pretty heavy topics. Last podcast, we talked about some of the significant proposals or the significance of the proposals for Biden's tax plan, President Biden's tax plan. And today, I think the idea is that we're going to focus a little bit on one of the elements of that plan, which is the proposed decrease in estate tax exemption. And
it's an increase in estate taxes. What happens to the money after you pass away?
Right. And the way they increase that exposure, the revenue-raising possibilities there, is to reduce the amount of exemption that individuals and families have to pass wealth on to their posterity. And not only that, they have proposed an increase in the applicable rate to that wealth. So
Ouch.
To give a just real quick snapshot of where we are and where we're going. So we're at $11.2 million now per individual, so roughly 22 and a half. For a family that they can pass it to their heirs, and any amounts over that are taxed at 40%. The proposal is to reduce that $11.2 million each to $3.5 million each, for a combined $7 million per family, and the tax rate that would apply above that would be 45%. And then, as we also discussed, it would be a elimination of the step-up in basis.
I think the step-up in basis is a huge part to that, Nate. Can you describe how that works right now? What is the step-up in basis?
So let's just assume that I have a couple of clients like this who bought stock back in the 50s and 60s, and they just did dividend reinvestment for 40 years, never sold their stock, and it's Abbott Labs or something like that.
Something that's been around forever.
Right.
They bought it at a very low price.
GM, right. So,
Sure.
And it's been through who knows how many splits, and like I said, with the dividend reinvestment, every little dividend has created a basis transaction that nobody's been tracking for all that time.
Of course not. That's so much work.
So you might conceivably know what the original cost basis was in that investment, but you know none of it other than that. And
So
say
much
now
work.
that investment is worth $3 million, and the original cost basis was $50,000. Now, since you can't establish your basis, absent going back and figuring out when each individual dividend was made, and yeah, it's a disaster. So if you can't establish basis, the IRS assumes no basis, so you're stuck with $50,000. You're taxed on $2,900,000
$950,000.
Yeah.
$950,000. That's huge.
And if you sell it all at once under his proposal, you're above the $1 million limit,
Yeah.
and so you're paying ordinary rates on that.
43%.
So that's the worst case scenario.
Plus your state income tax.
Right.
And any local income tax. And before you know it, that's real money.
Right.
Right. Yeah, your inheritance just went down a lot.
So one of the things we're focused on right now, and this is a bit of a planning trap, because we have a little uncertainty as to how the administration will attempt to make these revenue-raising proposals effective. The threat is, as it were, that they're going to make it retroactive